Okay. We are still on page 35 of The Wounded Wolf, 35 in your book. Now, I asked you a question at the very end of class yesterday, and I said, don't talk about it now. I want you to think about it, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. Well, guess what? Today is tomorrow. The tomorrow from yesterday is today. I know. What? Anyway, it's time. We're going to talk about that question. So I hope that you guys did, in fact, think about it and didn't just totally forget.
What was the question?
Right. See, there you go. What was the question? Think back to a situation where you accomplished something that you thought you couldn't do at first. Something that was hard, but you did it. Tell me about it. What was the situation? Have you ever done something that was really difficult and you thought, I can't do this, there's no way I can do this, and then you did it and you were like, I did it. Brady.
Fighting temptation.
Nice and loud.
Fighting temptation.
Fighting temptation. That's kind of vague. I'm not going to ask you what your temptations are, but I would like for us to get specific. I want you to think of a specific situation where you thought, this is really hard, I can't do this, and then you did it. Okay, I will give you an example from my life. I have lots of things, because I'm kind of a pessimist. Do you guys know what that means? I'm kind of a pessimist, which means I'm kind of negative. I'm kind of a negative Nelly. A little bit. Who said me too? Brady? Yeah, I am too. And so I tend to like just sort of hop to the worst. Like, I'll never be able to do this. Oh, woe is me. I'm kind of like that. I try not to be, but I kind of am. I live with like little sunshine person who like is exactly the opposite. Which she makes me a better person. But so I always tend to go, I can't do it. Okay, so literally, I have really bad anxiety, like really bad. And when I went to Mississippi for my nephew's wedding reception, I was going to a city I had never been to in my life. And I have never used Uber before. And I had to use Uber for the first time while I was there. Now, that's not that big of a deal, right? But for me, it was a really big deal because my anxiety really got the better of me. Like, I don't know anybody. Like, I'm going to know my brother and his family, but I'm not going to know anybody else at the reception. I've never met Haley, my new niece, so I was meeting her for the first time. That was making me anxious. It was just this ball of anxiety, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it. And I almost decided not to go because I was so anxious about it. But I did it, and it all worked out, and I got to the airport on time. The Uber guy picked me up right on time, right in front of my hotel, got me to the airport on time. It was a great weekend. It turned out really well. And at the end, I was like, okay, I know how to do that. I can do this now, because I was all by myself, right? And that was hard for me. Now, you guys might live with Uber. Uber's easy. Well, yes, it is, but not if you've ever done it before, right? If you've never done it before, you feel a little anxious about using an app for the first time. And the first time I use this app, I have to be at the airport by 5 a.m. Bruh. Right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So if I had made a mistake on my Uber, how was I going to get to the airport to get home? I was really anxious about it. But I did it, and it worked out fine, and I felt really good about myself when it was done. Okay, Talon.
My mom had an Uber driver in Vegas, and so he was going fast, and he jumped a jump, or jumped like a speed bump or something. My mom said, why did you do that? And the driver said, are you dead?
But are you dead? Yeah, no, that's not great. Okay, so I want you to think of a time when you had to do something difficult and you thought you weren't going to be able to do it. Maybe you set a goal for yourself and you thought you weren't going to meet it. Maybe your parents grounded you from something and you thought you would never make it without your phone for 3 weeks or whatever.
I don't think I've ever.
I don't know what you guys get grounded from. I don't know. something difficult. Maybe a test you had to take, or maybe the first time you did the spelling bee, or I know you guys have stuff that's hard for you. It's different for every person. We're just going to sit and stare at each other on the video, and Bella's going to watch it and go, what on earth is happening?
You can see
Dude,
us.
you are not socially distant, you two. Okay?
No.
No, she can only see me, so she has no idea what you yahoos are doing out there.
Why don't you
turn
turn
it,
the camera
turn
over
it,
here?
Turn it.
Because it's on YouTube,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm not putting your faces out on a public site.
Okay.
Well, I know you don't, but some
I
people
wanna
might.
say-
My
Yes.
mom cares about it.
Well, your mom cares, and that's who I care about. So, okay. Nobody wants to confess. So nobody in here has ever had anything that was hard for them.
No,
I just can't think
No,
how
I
I
can't
can
think
say.
You just don't want to share
I
yours.
shared one.
Oh, well, you were very vague. You shared a vague thing. Like it wasn't specific at all, so it didn't really answer the question.
We were
As
driving
I
to
say,
Arizona, my phone died. We
there's-
didn't bring a charger.
What's that? How did you overcome that terrible situation?
I don't know.
Yeah. See, you guys are not working on this. Okay. You know what? I think this may be tomorrow's writing prompt.
Oh.
So you guys are going to need to take this seriously. Okay.
Okay, riding a roller coaster.
Yes, I mean Thursday. Okay. Smart aleck. Okay. So Rocco seems to get like this kind of blast of strength as he's trying to make it to the shelter rock. So he's defending against the mob and he's trying to make it to the shelter rock. And he gets kind of this blast of strength, right? Where do you think that comes from? Hope? Confidence in himself? Okay. Grace?
Self-defense.
Self-defense?
Doesn't your body like I don't know, but give like a lot of energy if you're really trying hard, and then like you feel really tired after that?
Yes, that's called adrenaline.
Yeah, adrenaline.
Yeah,
I think
adrenaline.
that's it.
So when you're in I don't know if animals' bodies work the same way. Maybe we could ask our science teacher next door. But when humans are in a really stressful situation, adrenaline starts pumping, and it's a hormone chemical thing that kind of pumps through your body. It's the thing like where you read those stories about like, you know, a mom is in a car accident and her baby's trapped under the car and this little tiny woman lifts the car off of her baby and she has no idea how she did it. It's adrenaline. It's those stressful situations sometimes like produce that. But sometimes it's also like you draw on this strength that you didn't know you had. If it's not physical, but maybe it's some kind of mental situation that's really difficult and you're like, sometimes stress can actually push us to be better or to perform at a higher level than we would otherwise, right? Some people react really positively to stress. They perform well under stress. Some people don't. Rocco apparently had that self-confidence. I can do this. He fights off the mob. He gets to the shelter rock. I want you to look at page 35, and I want you to tell me if you can find some onomatopoeias. Do you guys remember what onomatopoeia is?
No.
Okay. Onomatopoeia is in your notes because we wrote it down in the pre-reading notes that I gave you. Onomatopoeia is a sound device. Yes.
Honk, honk, honk.
Honk, honk, honk. That's an onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a word that basically is its sound.
Oh.
So honk, yap, bark, moo.
Heads, horns.
What?
Heads, horns.
No, that's alliteration. Onomatopoeia is the sound device that is the sound that it makes. So like knock is its own onomatopoeia because it sounds.
Like the bottom of 34
Where?
in the left column where it says calm.
Yes, Kong Kong. Yes, Talon.
Calm, calm, calm.
Snaps.
Snaps.
Calm, calm, calm.
It's kind of funny because a snap. I'm not snapping well today. There we go. It sounds like the word snap. Snap. right? It kind of sounds like that. Okay. I just want to point that out that there's a lot of onomatopoeia in this story. Okay. We spent a lot of time today on spelling and on writing journal. So we didn't have a lot of time for class discussion. We have just a few more minutes. So go to page 36. How is Rocco saved from his predators? How is he saved, Brady?
By the leader.
Louder. Remember, you've got to speak into that microphone, buddy.
He's saved by Kiglo.
What does Kiglo do, Johnny?
Kiko warns all the other animals, and he like fights them off.
Yes. What else does he do? Talon?
Rounds the knoll.
Huh?
Rounds the knoll. No.
Where is? Oh, yeah, when he
Canal.
comes around the knoll. But he does something very specific for Rocco. Brady?
Oh, he brings him meat.
He brings him some food.
He licks his chin.
Actually, that's how Rocco thanks Kiglo. Yeah.
And
Is he licks his chin.
And
Now, I just want to make it very clear that you do not have to thank me for things by licking my chin. That is a wolf thing. I don't want any of you licking my chin. That's not a thing we're going to do for each other. No.
You're their leader. They're like.
No. Put your tongues back in your mouth. Crazy little sixth graders.
have those back in.
No, put it back in your mouth. Okay. But Rocco is saved from his predators because Kiglo arrives with some food, which helps Rocco do what?
Gain energy.
Get away and go
Yes,
back with the pack.
but you need to speak up.
Gain energy.
Gain energy. He gets his strength back,
Just
right?
bring him a ball of Gatorade.
Yeah.
Kiglo puts
Right.
his mouth around.
That's not quite how it works. Okay. So here's the question. Because Rocco thanks Kiglo by, he honors him by licking his chin.
Also.
Now, different cultures have different ways of honoring people. For instance, in Japan, they bow to each other instead of shaking hands. In America, we shake hands, right? In England, if you were to meet the Queen of England, ladies, you would have to learn to curtsy, and gentlemen, you would have to learn to bow, right? Different cultures have different ways of honoring people. Yes, Brady?
Also, Kiglo puts his mouth on Rocco's nose around it to say "I'm your leader."
Yes.
So he's also that.
So what are some ways in which you would show respect or honor to your family members? Would not be by licking their chin. In fact, I think if you went up to your mom and licked her chin, she would be like, "Get off me, kid! Ew, what are you doing? That's gross. Don't do that again."
I do whatever Kiglo
Right?
do.
That would not honor your mother. So, what are some ways that you honor your family members and show them respect? Hope, tell me one way.
Hugging them.
By hugging them. A hug can be a thank you. It can show them that you love them and that you honor them. Okay. What else? Brady, give me something else.
Hugging them and licking their chin.
No.
Okay,
We've
only one
already
of
talked
those.
about that, and I don't want smart aleck answers. I want genuine answers.
Okay, only one of those.
And that answer was already given by Hope, which means that you weren't listening. I need you to listen to what other people are saying. So something else. So you can hug your family. What is a way that you show your mom or your dad that you respect them?
Doing what they say.
Doing what they say. That is, yes. That is every mom's favorite thing. For sure. I always tell my kids every year, they say, "What do you want for Mother's Day?" And I say, "I want a clean house." And they're like, "What else do you want for Mother's Day?"
Candy.
Thanks, guys.
Candy.
Tell them.
Making them dinner.
Making them dinner. Doing something nice for them. An act of service. Yes. Yeah. There are lots of ways that we can show. We can show it through our speech, right? Respectful speech. Or not rolling our eyes. Not being a smart aleck. Not being sarcastic. Yeah, sure, whatever, Mom. Right? Is not respectful. Is not as respectful as, "Yes, ma'am," right away. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a lot less respectful, okay? And we show that respect by our actions. right? So if your mom says, I'd like for you to do this, you're like, yes, ma'am, and then you don't ever do it, are you being respectful? No, you are not, right?
You said yes, ma'am. So.
Yeah, but you didn't do it. So you lied when you said yes, ma'am. Yes, Brady.
Well, I mean, I know how to say it. It's like this kind of, but what I like to do is I like to me and my mom we like to cook together sometimes
Uh-huh.
and do it together, and it's really fun. I really like it.
So you work together. You can work beside your family.
I like this.
What do you think was the climax of the story? Because there are a couple of parts of the story where you could make an argument that this was the climax, and this is where we're going to stop today. What do you think the climax of the story was, Johnny?
His adrenaline kicks in and he makes it to the shelter.
When he makes it to the shelter rock.
after fighting off the.
Okay, yeah, that's possible. What else? There's a couple of spots. That's one of them. There's another spot that might be considered climactic.
Suddenly you can hear the oxen thundering in a circle, and then Keglo comes.
Yeah, when Keglo
Is
comes.
there a
That's
right when.
That's the other time that
Is
could be
there
considered
like
climax.
and then
a plot pyramid where it goes like
Yeah,
broken up?
that's
plot
the thing. Plot pyramids, yeah. Because they're not always exactly, and some stories you can argue this is the climax or this is the climax. And so either way, if you were going to do your plot pyramid and you were going to list like all the rising action and then the climax and then the falling action, you would just list the climax as what you think it is, and then everything before that is rising and everything after that is falling. Talon?
When he fights off and warns all the animals.
Okay, when he fights off and warns all the animals. So there are a couple of places that you could actually make a pretty good argument for where the climax is. Okay, we're going to stop there, and I want you to get ready for history, and we will most likely get this finished on Thursday.
Ready.